Let me say this up front. The biggest mistake that sports card collectors are going to make in 2026 is not buying the wrong card, but buying too quickly. And longtime collectors know what I'm talking about. The market seems really hot right now. And when a market seems hot, you want to rush to buy the cards because you feel like you're going to miss out if you don't buy them now. There's a sense of urgency to buy cards right now, and I'm telling you, that is wrong. Be patient. In 2026, the market only seems hot. It's not actually as hot as it seems. I'm telling you, there are more cards out there that you can buy than you realize. You don't need to jump on the first offer for these cards. The card prices are going up, but they're not going to stay up. There's too many cards being printed coming out behind these cards. We are in the junk slab era. And if everybody understands the junk wax era, then you're going to understand the junk slab era as well. There were 4 million 1989 Ken Griffey Jr. rookie cards printed. How many PSA 10 rookie cards do you need to see in the pop count before you start to realize that these inflated prices cannot stand? Therefore, the biggest mistake that collectors are going to make in 2026 is rushing to buy. Therefore, the solution is to be patient. And if you stay to the end, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. Hello and welcome back to the channel. Why do collectors rush? It is not because they are greedy. It is because they are scared. Yes, FOMO sets in and you think you don't have any time to buy these cards, that if you don't buy them right now, they're going to be gone. And this FOMO is starting to run through the hobby. So I made some notes. I want to kind of give you kind of my impression of what's going on right now. And then again, like I said, at the end, I'm going to show you exactly how to be patient. There's going to be levels to this, like which cards you should hold on, which cards you should continue to just buy and sell as normal. Don't worry, this is the video for you. And if you're new here, my name is Doc. I am a 40-year collector. I'm also a recovering card hoarder. Yes, I had 8 million cards by the time I was 18 years old. And over the last 10 years, I've been selling off the hoard and trying not to hold on to too many things. But this is the piece. So why do collectors rush to buy cards, especially right now? And what does rushing actually cost you? So here's the piece. Rushing will cost you the price. You're going to overpay for cards when you rush to buy. And if you're buying in 2026 without any patience, you're going to end up spending more money than you want. And what does that mean? It means you buy high and then inevitably you have to sell low. And I just did that in the last video where there are dealers, and this is the frustration that I have, there are dealers it shows that do not want to sell their cards because they overpaid for them and they don't want to admit it. They don't want to admit, I got to take a loss on this card, even though they should clearance their cards, get rid of them, sell them. Yes, you're taking a loss, but get the cash back and deploy that cash for other things, and maybe you won't overpay next time. Again, unfortunately, you were in that massive rush, and so that's the problem. What is 2022 different? Like, why is this different than before? Like, so the pandemic from 2020 to 2022, the reason that that market went up was because thousands and thousands of people came into the hobby that had never been in the hobby before, and they were buying cards. And because the prices were going up week after week after week, again, that created that FOMO. And so everybody was buying cards until people stopped buying, because the minute nobody was left on the end of the train to buy the over expensive cards, all the flippers just left. Like all the people that just came in to make money, they left. And so what was actually left in the hobby were real collectors, longtime collectors, and then these new collectors who don't really know what they're doing, but they're still hanging on because they think for some reason, I don't know exactly, that they're going to make money on the back end. Again, that's probably not going to happen. If you really want to know how to make money in this hobby, you'll need to subscribe to my newsletter, the High-End Card Newsletter. I'm going to go over the top 30 cards that Wall Street is probably going to target for their ETF funds. Although I did a poll, I will bring that poll out this week, what people said, whether or not they believe that Wall Street will create an ETF in 2026 or not. I won't give that away right now, but we'll get to this. So that's the point, is that in 2020 to 2022, the pandemic brought all these people in and they were the ones pumping up the cards. For the last 12 months, this market has been running up. Now, we did have a huge correction towards the beginning of the summer, like end of spring, summer of last year. We had a huge correction. Things were down by 35%, and then starting into the summer, so around July, August, around the national time, things started to heat up. And it's kind of continued through the end of the year, although prices have started to fall again. Again, there's no baseball. November is when the World Series is, and after that, the winter meetings. And so everything kind of slows down until we get to spring training, which is coming in just a few weeks. So what's going to happen now is you're going to see some people kind of spend up. But here's why this is different. Experts are saying that there's a 90% chance that Major League Baseball will have a work stoppage in 2027. If you're not aware of that, that's why you should subscribe, because you need to know these things going into the future. And this is why this is important, why you should be patient in 2026, because this is starting to look just like what happened in the Junk Wax era, the 1993-94 time frame. In 1994, Major League Baseball stopped playing baseball, almost destroyed the sport. That's what I'm talking about. So in 2027, if there is no Major League Baseball, what happens to card values? We have seen the run-up. We have seen the overprinting. We have seen the same mistakes as from the past, and now Major League Baseball is running into the same problem. And if they don't play in 2027, you're going to be holding the bag with all of these cards. So here's what I recommend. This is how you should be patient. So I said, I promised that I would show you how to be patient in this video, and this is the answer. There's several levels. For cards that are going to be under $100, okay? So that's the first level. Cards that are under $100, you don't need to worry. Do what you're doing. Buy and sell as you do. That part of the hobby, that part of the market is totally safe, as well as it's also robust. There is so many sales happening under $100, and they will continue to sell. Now, obviously, the margins are not there. So really, it's collectors buying and selling cards in order to buy other cards that they want. And that's kind of what I'm doing. Like I have a whole bunch of stuff that I'm putting up for sale. So like this is, again, at a card show, I'm not selling online. So this is a Dr. J from 1981. It's worth $20. I'm going to try to get somewhere around $20. Let's see if I can pull out some other ones. Yeah, actually, here we go. This is a Cody Bellinger patch card. So that's worth around $10, give or take. Again, I'll take anywhere close to that. And this stuff is going to sell because it's in that under 100 price bracket. And so that part of the market is totally fine. Here's the second part of the market, and this is between 100 to 500, and this is my recommendation. Negotiate on price. If you're a collector and you're looking at cards that are between $100 or $500 of value, you don't need to wait, but be a little price sensitive. Don't overpay for cards. Like if it's worth 500, honestly, my suggestion is to try to buy multiple cards from a dealer or from another collector and say, look, if I buy multiples, will you give me a better discount? Because typically you can get cards at like 90%, maybe 85% of comps. But if you buy multiple cards, like let's say there's 2 or 3 cards that are worth around $300 to $400 each, maybe you can actually get the discount down to about 80 to 75% of comps. And that way you're saving a few extra, maybe 100 extra bucks, which is really good because you can use that to then go buy some other low-end cards. But here is the piece of the market that you should not be rushing to buy, and that is cards over $1,000. In fact, anything over $5,000, you should really press pause. So that means all of the cards on Goldin, all of the cards on eBay, all of the cards that you see at card shows, I'm telling you right now, if you're buying in 2026 cards that are worth more than $5,000, I would say be careful, because a lot of those cards are not going to be able to retain their values. We have a bubble going on in society right now. We have the economy is in a bubble, the stock market's in a bubble, housing's in a bubble, labor's in a bubble. Like there is a bubble all over the place. And so what happens is if all those bubbles start to pop, what do you think is going to happen to card values? This is the issue. And President Trump just made an executive order that said that Wall Street is no longer allowed to buy single-family homes, which is good news for you as a regular citizen, but that's bad news for the prices because Wall Street doesn't care about money. That's why if they do create an ETF to buy sports cards, and like I said, I think that that's a real possibility. And if you want to profit from Wall Street, because they don't care about money, all they care about is the transaction. If you want to know what they might be targeting, join the newsletter, High-End Cards. I'll leave the link in the description. So that's my point, is be patient in 2026. Don't rush out. Don't get FOMO. Don't feel scared that if you don't buy cards right now that you're never going to buy them. They're there. They're not going anywhere. That's it. I am looking at very specific cards. I would like to get 1 or 2 Cracker Jack cards. Yes, those are the red cards from 1915. I would like a Ty Cobb or maybe one of the other players, iconic players from that set. Again, those cards are worth several $1,000s, so they're difficult to get. I've been trying to trade for a Lou Gehrig, not a rookie, not a 1933 Goudey, but a 1934 Goudey. I just like those cards better. Again, those are worth a few $1,000s, and so that's the question is, can I make those kinds of deals? Those cards are not going to be price sensitive as much because they are so much older cards, but again, the prices have run up, and so in 2026, you need to be patient. That's my message to you, be patient. Now, if you haven't been a subscriber, I hope you hit the subscribe button right now. You will get more videos this week. So this is Doc saying, I'll see you next.